I'll assume MATLAB is a new software to you guys. Okay, I assume you have zero knowledge on MATLAB software, but but you have to know some topics regarding control engineering subjects. Okay, mathematical modeling, some concepts in control engineering, transfer functions, Laplace transformations. These topics must be familiar. Any batch can attend to any lab if you are free. Okay. And so I'll first give introduction. I hope the screen visible. Screen is visible. The PPT which I'm sharing on the screen. So MATLAB is nothing but it's a software. Okay, it's a laboratory. Okay, so it stands for Matrix Laboratory. Okay, uh, so it's an environment where basically it's a type of calculator. It's a very advanced type of calculator. You can also install your MATLAB application in your Android phone. You may get some limited features on your phone. Okay, but you can't complete your course on the application. It will be very convenient if you have your software installed on your personal computer. Okay, so basically it's a computer, it's a calculator. Okay, so there's no what do you say, a language for MATLAB like your Python or even Python is very simple interface. It's similar to MATLAB, but MATLAB is a very simple software where you can do lots of scientific calculations. You can put very complex equations. You can analyze very complex waveforms. You can analyze lots of mathematical theories, Fourier series or transformation, Laplace transformation. You can do lots of calculus in your MATLAB. Okay, you can do image processing in your MATLAB. Okay, it's a great it has great visualization capabilities. It has lots of functions. We'll see what all functions MATLAB has. It's a very easy to learn interface. Okay, it's not like some softwares where it takes lots of time at the starting to pick up. It's a very easy to pick up software. Okay, so you can see basic screen, the home screen of MATLAB software. You can see here. So this is the command window. Okay, where you can write any scripts required for your experiment, for any calculation. This is the space where you enter all your variables, all your equations, whatever you want to input. This is basically an input window. You input whatever mathematical operations you want to do here. Okay, this is the left side, top left window you see here. This is the space where you can find all the directories, all the files you have worked and saved in. Okay, the left bottom is the workspace. So here, whatever you enter in the input section and whatever the answers you get in the command window here at the bottom right, all the variables, basically all the variables will be stored in your workspace. It's a memory, and you can see here it's visible. Okay, so this is a basic display of your MATLAB. Okay, and all the options, all the tabs are at the top. Okay. So very simple. If you want to assign a value to a variable, you can simply assign it. Just type that variable and assign it whatever value you want. Okay. And percentage, if you use this percentage sign, it's a comment. It's similar to other interfaces like C or C++ or anywhere else you find you use percentage is for comment, right? Just write a comment using a percentage sign. Okay, you can simply assign variables. You can simply operate. You can simply put simple operators and find the answers like a calculator. Okay, like uh, you have to save. Just save something, and you'll get the answer in your command window at the bottom here. Okay, so it's the untitled 2 script name is untitled 2. So the script consists of all these variables, and we have run the script. So x is that, x is printed, z is printed, sorry, y is printed, and z is also printed. Okay, so everything will be printed if you just leave it like that. So if you put a semicolon here, the answer will not be printed. Okay, instead the answer will be saved in your workspace. Okay, you can see here untitled 2 has been run, but it is not printed here. But here you can see uh, all these values are stored in your workspace. It's very simple. It's a calculator basically. So workspace is a MATLAB's memory. If you need anything, any help, if you want, if you want to find anything on the MATLAB, you can simply type help. Okay, you'll get the menu, and you can proceed to finding whatever the help you need. Okay, so the biggest advantage of MATLAB is that you can operate almost all matrix operations. You can do almost all matrix operations. Okay, very large matrix operations can be done in MATLAB. So how to specify, how to input a matrix? It's like this. You can assign a variable name, a name for the matrix. And if you use the square brackets, then it is a matrix. Okay. If you put a semicolon in between the numbers, then the next number will go to next column. Okay, or the next row, I'm sorry. Okay. So we'll just put something. Use square brackets. you can see the matrix printed at the bottom. And so this colon operator, it's similar in many computer languages. So if you write 1 is to 10, it means that you are considering the numbers from 1 to 10 continuously in the steps of 1. So if you want to have a step, that is, by default the step is 1. If you want to have step as 2, then you can write 2. 1 is to 2 is to 10. From 1 to 10 in steps of 2. Okay, so initial value is 1. If you add 2, you'll get 3. 3 plus 2, 5 till 10. Okay, 7 plus 9, it is, sorry, 7 plus 2, it is 9. 9 plus 2, it is 11. So it will not print 11 because the maximum value should be 10. Okay, it should be, the value should be between 1 and 10. Okay, that's the use of colon operator. And there are lots of operations in your MATLAB. So a script is nothing but a program or an experiment which you have done in your MATLAB, and it's a script. It's basically a script that you have saved. Okay, it's your experiment. You can see here, this is today's experiment. This is the script of today's experiment, and I have saved it as experiment 1. Okay, so you can call this experiment 1.m. This is the script. You can call this experiment anywhere in a different place in MATLAB. It will be saved. You should be doing that particular the second experiment in the same directory. Okay, so if you are in the same directory, then you can call this particular script in a different experiment. So this particular script is not in this directory here. You can see here, this is the directory where I'm currently in, but experiment 1 is in different directory. Okay, if your directories are different, you can't call the script. So to call the script, you should be in the same directory. Both the experiments, experiment 1 and experiment 2, should be saved in same directory to call the script. Okay. So functions are some inbuilt scripts, you can say. Okay, functions can be some inbuilt scripts. For example, zeros is a function. Okay, zeros is a matrix function. So if you assign a is equal to zeros of 4. Okay, so it's a matrix function. Of 4 is, it's a 4 cross 4 matrix. Okay, in that all the elements will be zeros. Rand of 4, rand is also a matrix function of 4 cross 4 matrix, which will print random elements, random values of elements in that particular matrix B. Okay, this is an example of function. Okay, and there will be lots of functions. You will come across different kinds of functions when you do your experiment. Okay, this is an example of function. Okay, and you can do some operation with these matrices. So you will get this. A is that you can see here. A is equal to zeros of 4 cross 4 matrix. B contains some random numbers in 4 cross 4 matrix. C is the addition of A plus B. Okay, so all the conditions of matrix operations must be okay. For example, if you see in the starting, I had taken zeros of 9 cross 9 matrix. Okay, how many other? Okay, 9 cross 9 matrix zeros and 4 cross 4 random matrix. I try to operate, it will show an error that the matrix operation cannot be done since the size of both the matrices are different. Okay, all those things should be known. Conditions of matrix operation should be known. So matrix dimensions must agree. Okay, then I changed into 4 cross 4 and added. Even for multiplication, matrix multiplication, there is a condition that A, if A is m into n matrix, then B should be n into m matrix. Then only you can perform matrix multiplication. Okay, so using MATLAB, you have to know all the basics of mathematics, your linear algebra. Okay, and your linear algebra is a must for matrix for MATLAB. Okay, specifically if you want to do uh, if you want to do anything, if you want to use MATLAB for any applications in AI or machine learning, there are lots of matrix operations. Okay, there will be lots of equations which you have to solve simultaneously. So all the equations won't be solved by typing the equations actually. You will solve all the equations by converting them into matrices. Okay, so if there are 10 equations, you won't type each equation here, okay, as a script. Instead, you will convert them into matrices and perform matrix operations accordingly, and whatever the output you get will be the output for your experiment. Okay, so if someone is learning AI or machine learning or data science, it's completely linear algebra. It's completely matrix operations. Okay, so finding determinant, finding inverse, and multiplying matrices, adding matrices, using these functions, zeros and randoms. Okay, random won't be used usually. Zeros. There's a you can also print ones also. Ones also is a function. Ones of 4 cross 4 matrix. There will be lots of functions. So another biggest advantage of MATLAB is visualization of your data. Okay, data science. So if you have some equation, you can type the equation. Okay, and you can plot that particular equation using the function plot. So plot is a function for plotting the graph of that particular equation. So plot x comma y is a plot actually. So x value, so you have to enter what variable has to be considered for x-axis. So x-axis we are considering time t for plotting y equal to cos t, x-axis t, y-axis the value of cos t, that is y, comma they are specifying the color of the plot, blue. Sorry, the color of the curve. So B is for blue, and the values will be highlighted with dots. Okay, and there are lots of there are a lot many features you can add to a plot just by putting comma and adding the features. So this is one feature, that is, so you are specifying the color of the curve and the highlight, whatever the shape of the highlight you want to put, that is dots. Okay. So image processing, if you this is another application of MATLAB. Okay. So I'll show a good example of image processing later. These are some operators and functions. I think all these operators are self-explanatory. I think that will do for the introduction of MATLAB. So image processing, it's a process where you extract useful information from images. Okay. So how is it relevant to our field, aerospace field? So if you take uh, if you take supersonic flow, if you take a picture of supersonic flow in a wind tunnel, there's a thing, you just think there's a wedge in the wind tunnel and there's supersonic flow. So you can't see the variation of density or variation of pressure or appearance of shock waves very clearly in the picture whatever you take. So you can take that raw image and you can highlight the shock waves in that particular picture using your MATLAB. You can also find the distances between two particular points in that image. Okay, and you can improve the quality of the image. Okay, so all these operations are in image processing, which you can do very easily in your MATLAB. One second. Okay. Okay. Uh, so for today's experiment, so the experiment name is, so we have to draw pole zero map of dynamic system model with plot customization option. Okay. So what are poles and zeros? So basically, we are modeling a mathematical. We are mathematical modeling some physical principle. Okay, so a mathematical model is linear if differential equation describing it has coefficients. Okay, so what is a mathematical model? Uh, it's a system of equation which describes some physical principle or an electrical principle or any other uh, physical phenomena. Okay, so for example, if you want to, if you have a system, okay, so spring mass system, it's a mechanical system. There's a spring, there's a damper B, and there's some mass. All are connected in series and fixed at one end and free at the other end. So if you apply some force at the free end, there is some the distribution of force is different on each element. Okay, the total force is F and the distribution of force is different on each element. So that distribution can be model can be written like this. That is the force. It's actually the force F is equal to the force acting on mass M. Okay, that is M into A, M into acceleration. So acceleration is dx square by d square by in differential form. Okay, so dx by y is velocity, and the another differential, the second differential of d or the differential of dxy is acceleration. Okay, and the force acting on the damper is this, the damping constant b to dt by pi, and the force acting on the spring is the spring constant k into the displacement of the spring. So this is the total force. Okay, so F is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3. Okay, so this is a differential equation. So this differential equation will be transformed into a Laplace equation, a Laplace transform. Okay, so this Laplace transform, we have then after transforming the equation into Laplace transform, we have to find the roots of this particular equation. This is an equation. This equation, right? ms square plus bs plus k. So you have to find the roots of this equation, and these roots will be plot on an S-plane. An S-plane is a space where it consists of imaginary and real values. Okay, like a real plane where you have x and y coordinates. In an S-plane, you have imaginary and real coordinates. Okay, so you can go through all these things. So this is a very simple example, mathematical modeling. This can also be done without actually doing this particular process or transforming this differential equation into a Laplace equation. That is by using a Simulink. So in a Simulink, you can there are built-in blocks for mass, a damper, a spring, or any other physical element which is there. So all the elements can be dragged into your workspace, and those elements can be connected as required. In this particular case, in series, and you can specify the values of m, k, f, and the damping constant. Everything can be specified as inputs, and you can find whatever the displacement it will have, or the vibration or the oscillations it will have. Everything can be plotted in, everything can be found in Simulink also. Okay, that can be done later, but that is not included in this particular experiment. So all these, whatever I'm saying right now, this is an example. This is not experiment one. Okay, this particular spring mass system, it's an example. Okay, just showing what is a mathematical model is. Some physical principle. This you are mathematically modeling like this. So this is a mathematical model. F equal to m dx square by d square y, etc. This is a mathematical model. This model is converted to a Laplace transform, and the roots of this particular Laplace transform are found and plot on an S-plane. Okay. Another example of mathematical modeling. So there's an electrical circuit, RLC circuit, and there's voltage across the circuit. So the voltage of this particular circuit can be mathematically shown like this. Okay, right. This again can be converted to a Laplace transform, and the roots of that particular equation can be found and plot on an S-plane. So why are we converting the differential equation into a Laplace transform? It is just that is the application of a Laplace transform, where it can predict the behavior of a particular system very easily. Okay, it will predict the variation or the behavior, okay, from two different between two different extremes, or between two critical points. Okay, so initially we had the mathematical model in T domain like this. This we converted into an S domain, Laplace domain. And so whatever the roots we get from the Laplace equations are called poles. Okay, so you can see here the Laplace transform of different mathematical functions. Okay, so each function, each equation, each Laplace transform will have a particular meaning. Fine. So for example, if the roots are real, then the waveform is exponential. So if this is a Laplace transform that you got for this particular mechanical system, so whatever the roots you get from this equation, you can interpret like this. If the roots are real, then the waveform is exponential. That means the oscillation of that particular physical system, mass spring system, is increasing. It is exponential. Okay, the waveform is increasing. That means the displacement of the mass is increasing with time variant. It's a time variant function. So if the vibration is increasing with time, then it's a very unstable system. Okay, so if the roots that you get from that equation are imaginary, then it's a combination of sines and cosines. So sines and cosines are stable waveform which does not increase with time. So the amplitude of the waveform is constant. That is a sine and cosine waveform. Okay, the vibration of that particular system will be the amplitude of that particular spring mass system will be constant. It's vibrating, but it is constant. The displacement is constant with time. So it is imaginary. So it will never happen. The amplitude of the spring mass system, it will either increase or it will decrease. Okay, it will never be constant because there is a damper, or damper in this case in a physical system is it can be air resistance, okay, or it can be friction in a hydraulic cylinder, okay, and that friction between the piston and the inner walls of the cylinder is also damping has also will have damping coefficient. So in real case, the sine and cosine waveform won't appear. So if they are complex, so combination of real and imaginary, then the waveform is damping. Okay, so damping is the system is moving towards stability. Right? So these are some meanings of your roots. Is there any confusion whatever we discussed till now?
You are now muted.
1 second. Okay, it's taking lots of time. I wanted to show something of image processing. So you have to plot poles and zeros of a particular Laplace transform. Okay, so poles and zeros are nothing but uh, they are roots. Both poles and zeros both are roots of numerator and denominator in a Laplace transform. Okay, so both are roots. So I will share this link. It's very good. Okay, the same thing. So what does it say? That's all. So you can see this particular example here. You have a simple Laplace transform, that is g of s is 1 by s minus 1. Okay, so the uh, root of this particular equation s minus 1 equal to 0 is 1. Okay, if s minus 1 equal to 0, then your root will be, there is only one root, that is s equal to 1. So the plot of s equal to 1 is this. Okay, so s equal to 1 is a real value, right? So you can see here the value s equal to 1. The real value is 0 and imaginary value is, sorry, real value is 1, imaginary value is 0. This is a 3D plot. Okay, there is another equation, another Laplace transform. You have the numerator, there is one equation, the denominator, there is one equation. Okay, there is one pole and one zero. Okay, so you can see here 0 is nothing but minus 50s plus 50 is equal to 0, and your s will be plus 1. Okay, all the roots in the numerator are zeros and all the roots in the denominator are poles. So poles in the denominator are s plus 2 equal to 0, then s equal to minus 2. So the roots are real. Okay, this is the 3D plot of those particular roots. There is lots of theory behind poles and zeros in control engineering, which you have in this particular semester. You will be studying in module 2. Okay, you'll understand better after studying the theory. For now, what you have to understand is the basic interface of MATLAB and basics of whatever we discussed, the mathematical modeling uh, of different physical principles or physical systems, physical and electrical systems, converting those mathematical models to uh, Laplace transformation, finding the roots of that particular equation and plotting them on an S-plane. Interpreting the roots in a simple way, we saw this. If the roots are real, then the waveform is exponential and so on. And there will be lots of different combinations of roots which we have to interpret. So interpreting the roots is the main step actually. Okay, so that will be done in your control engineering. Okay, so for now, so this is a simple code for your first experiment. So CLC is nothing but you're clearing this particular space. Clear all is you're clearing your workspace. Whatever the variables stored in your workspace will be cleared when you put clear all semicolon. Okay, so you're clearing all the previous data if it is there in your workspace, and you're starting your experiment. Okay, so N and D are poles and zeros. Okay, so this is an equation which is not uh, explicitly put here. Okay, so roots is a function. This function finds the roots of this particular equation here. Again, to find the poles, you're finding the roots of this particular equation of D, roots of D. So all the roots will be stored in Z0 and ZP. Okay, and next is after finding the roots, you are plotting the roots. So plot, we know the function plot x comma y. Okay, so real values uh, of this particular root. So if the root is, for example, so if the root is x in the form of x plus I by, then the real value is x and imaginary value is y. Okay, real value of the root, imaginary part of the same root of pole. Okay, and mark, this is a marker. So mark this particular point using x. Okay, comma. So this complete thing is x value for plot function. For plot function, this complete thing is x value. This complete thing is y value. So you're plotting these both. So plotting real value of z, imaginary, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. So for plot, this is x value and this is y value, imaginary. So real axis is horizontal axis, imaginary axis is vertical axis, y. So this is one set of value actually. This is one set of plot for one point. This is the another point, that is zeros. So for zeros, this is the x part of your root. This is the y part of your root, and your that point will be highlighted using symbol O. Okay, so this is your plot function. Then your plot will be given a title, pole zero map. So title is again a function. Okay, so in the parenthesis you can write whatever you want it to be named at the top. X label is again a function. It will label the x-axis at the bottom of the x-axis, at the bottom of the horizontal line. It will name real axis. So for labeling your y-axis, you can label it as imaginary axis, and the size of the axis. So the x-axis from -5 to 5, the y-axis from again -5 to 5. That's all. So this is your code. So we run this. You can see here the prompt window which showed when I hit run, it showed change the directory. So experiment one is saved in this directory. Okay, so it went to, I clicked change directory, it went to the directory where your experiment one is saved in. So it is saved in this particular directory. Okay, you should always make sure that your directory, your current folder, whatever is open here, and whatever you're working here, the script should be in same directory. So we got the output. So uh, these are the roots that you got. So zeros. So all the roots are imaginary here. Okay. So there are 3 zeros and 3 poles. Totally, there are uh, 6 points. Okay, 6 roots. So first root is -1 plus 1.73i. Second one is same thing, -1 minus 1.73i. Third one 1 plus 0i. This is a real number, just 1. And poles. So these are the poles. All the 2 poles are imaginary. 1 pole is a real number. Okay, minus 2.0379 plus it's 0i, expressing in complex number 0i. Okay, so these are plot on the graph. Okay, so you can see the 6 roots here. Okay, that's all. This is your experiment, but understanding this is the main part actually. So I don't know what exactly are n and d, these two equations. Okay, so but if we know how to interpret, we can do reverse engineering and we can tell what these two equations are. Okay, but these are a little bit, all these need some theory of control engineering. Okay, you will study in your control engineering. I too will try to find out what these are exactly. Okay, that's all. So you can see here the title of this thing is pole 0. Okay, it is printed at the top of the graph, and the labels for x and y axis, imaginary axis and real axis are printed, and the length of the axis -5 to 5, -5 to 5. The values are plotted here. Right. The plot customization is nothing but you are changing the labels, changing the values, and changing the system of equation. So all that is plot customization. Okay, so more specifically, plot customization is uh, you're changing the visualization of the plot. Okay, changing the highlights of the plot. Like for example, for holes, you are highlighting with zeros. For poles, you are highlighting with X, the symbol X. So you can change, you can give a different highlight to those by changing in the script. That is plot customization. Okay, it's nothing very big. It's that simple. I think we have lots of time. We'll do whatever we wherever we stopped for answers. Okay. So before starting that, if you have anything else regarding this today's discussion, you can ask. So I think by the end of your course, your MATLAB course, you should be very comfortable with MATLAB, and you should be able to apply or use MATLAB for various applications. But you should be in touch with the interface. Okay, and all about different kinds of functions, different operations of MATLAB. Everything cannot be learnt in a single class. Okay, you have to keep on practicing every day, or at least thrice or four times a week. Okay, in a single class, that too in the first class, if you see lots of functions, lots of operations, it will be difficult. And all the operations you won't remember also, if you see. So everything, if you do in a flow for a particular work, then you'll remember simply by seeing the list of functions or list of operations. You won't remember. So if you have some task, and if you're using some operations and functions, then you'll remember the functions only when there's a requirement. See, for example, we used plot for your first experiment. You got an idea. Okay, so before doing this experiment, we discussed plot. Plot is a function which contains x, y values, and you can change the color of the highlight. All those things. You may have had a very less idea on plot, but after doing this, you got a better idea of the function plot. You also saw labels for the plot and all those things. Please wait. We'll do some more operations on the MATLAB only.